I know you can see the script. That's the whole point. I need it for my links here because today we are talking about big pharma and how it sucks. Um. Oh, don't want to show that on stream. I think that's all of them, right? Oh, I'm missing one. Oh yes, the bread riot. Don't worry about that. Alright, so I'm gonna be eating like partially through this. I do apologize for that. I have not had any bit of food since like 2 this afternoon. And it is now 8. So big pharma. Let's just get the what that is out of the way first. Big pharma is the idea that oh, that was too much of a bite. Big pharma is the idea that pharmaceutical companies, such as I'll name them later. I don't know why I said such as, but they will be named later. Oh, oh my god. Oh, you got COVID. That's gonna suck. Though. That's rough. Anywho, big pharma is the idea that pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, all that jazz, is literally here just to make money off of you, and that is solely the purpose of it. And that is awful. So I'll get into the hows and whys later. But for now, let's get into a little bit more of exactly what it is. So, big pharma, as I stated before, is just jacking up prices as much as you can, and um, give me 1 second. What did I put here? Conspiracy boy loves big pharma scandals. Yeah, it's great. It's great, Tom. Okay. So we'll get into the how they do it, I guess, because I just stated what big pharma is and under like a whole paragraph I wrote about it. And I just did it in under a sentence. I'm kind of stupid. Anywho, so how they do it is very simple. It's the same way that people like Andrew Carnegie, all those big people from I think it was the 1850s, 60s, probably around there. Let's actually look that up real quick. Andrew Carnegie. Yeah, I'm not getting into that yet. Into that yet. Yeah, so around 1850 is about when those guys started taking off. It's very simple. You cut out competition, and then you just I don't know, start making small, insignificant developments to hide up the big ones that you made, so you can make more money. Um, and it's genuinely terrible coming from someone who has illnesses that require medication that is upwards of 11,000 per treatment. It is not fun to be paying those prices. You know, maybe, just maybe, more than likely, there's just a cure sitting in some researcher's basement that he just has lying around because they told him to hide it, and it sucks. So there's that for you. I don't know why. Yeah, like Dom said, like how they covered up multiple cancer cures and killed the researchers. Yeah, I'm not getting into that because I mean, it's more skepticism than there is proof. Here's there's actually proof. By trying to keep evidence possible. Let me know if you need to rant on this. No, the debt's not in my name yet. When the debt gets in my name, then I'll get mad. But yeah. So reason why, or not the reason why, but more of what they do is, like I said, there's little competition. So what you do is, even if there was competition, you just kind of buy them out. That's what they've been doing for years now. They've been doing something very simple. It's called small business starts up or mixed new development, and you either get rid of them, or you just buy them out and make them do work for you. And since these companies have so much money, they can do that for little to nothing. So, for example, we'll take a look at Pfizer as a company. Oh wait, I haven't got to my main point yet. They work hand in hand with the government. You can't tell me Pfizer doesn't because it's literal information out there that I can easily show you right now. That they openly work with the government. So the government is making massive bank on this due to taxes. Because they can, the more money that the U.S. has, the more money the government gets. So, if there are people who are in hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical debt, they're gonna have to pay that off, and those companies have to pay taxes, so they get money off of it. And it's very simple to, I mean, not very simple. It's very easy to understand that. So it's very simple. God, I hate this man right here. I hate their CEO so much. He's literally like Jeff Bezos of the medical world. He is Anywho, I'm gonna be completely honest. I think that's all I wanted to. Yeah. Let's get COVID for example. Very simple. Very simple here. Where is it? Vaccines. What different vaccines are available? Here we are. Here we are. So there are four. There are four COVID vaccines that you can get in the entire state, in the entire country of the U.S. All right, Dom, you can head out, my guy. It's all right. It's fine. We got Pfizer, Moderna, Novavax, and Johnson and Johnson. No one else is allowed to sell COVID vaccines. And I don't want to hear the excuse of, oh, they're giving it out for free, it's a good thing. No, they're not giving it out for free. The government paid them to give it out. Because they're not going to do that for free. They make tons of money off of it. Why would they give it out willingly for free if they could sell it? Because they're going to sell it. They sold it to someone. I hate to break your heart, but they sold it to someone. Someone bought the vaccines. I also don't want to hear the excuse, well, it's a business. It's business, therefore it deserves competition and regulations, which it doesn't have a lot of either. So, to give reference, let's take a look at Pfizer's CEO, also known as Dr. Albert. Not gonna pronounce his last name. I'm gonna butcher it. You can take a look through here if you want, but I want to get here very quickly. This man is a veterinarian. Let me see if I can't find it. I don't think they actually list it on this site because of the concern it was. Okay, no. Yes, is a doctor of veterinary medicine. The man who gives out the most sold, the most known, and the most used COVID vaccine is a veterinarian. While yes, it's better than him having no medical background, it is not as good as him being an actual human doctor. Because he has a PhD and not in like biotechnology of just how vets or how to be a vet. Biotechnology of reproduction. So all he knows is, I hate to say it, but sex. All he knows is the reproductive system of dogs and cats. Like, I got the Pfizer vaccine, and, or no, I don't know which vaccine I got. I can't remember if it was Moderna or Pfizer. I think I got Moderna then Pfizer. Either way, if I got Pfizer, I'm scared. But you would think that even though he is the CEO, he make 6 figures easy. He makes 7. This man makes over $24 million a year. I'm just gonna let that sit for a moment. That is $24 million a year for him being a vet, a reproductive vet at that. And that is terrifyingly high. You look at any other person with $24 million, $24 million income. Let's take a look. Let's see who gets that. Or who has. Still though, he makes way too much money per year. It is awful. So I'm actually getting through this quite quickly, probably because I'm so heated about it. I should probably take some time and like joke about it. It's also because Noah's not here. Noah's not here makes me a lot faster paced. He's the one that really helps me slow up a bit. So I'm just gonna start talking a little bit, see if I can't burn some time up here. So I don't want this to be over in like 20 minutes. That would be awful. Anywho, like, I still can't get over the fact that this man is a vet, a reproductive vet. That makes me so angry. Without a shadow of a doubt, he should not be the CEO. Now, granted, this is coming from a 17-year-old who knows little about anything. But still, if I have a problem with it, there is probably a good reason. Like, if I could understand that $24 million someone should not be able to have, I think that makes sense. Yeah, he received $24 million in 2021 for compensation. For just compensation. So you had 24 plus 24. It's just ridiculous. Like, I understand that people really work hard for their money, and I do agree that certain people do deserve their money. I'm not going to say who. And no, I'm not talking about Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or anyone like that, but some people do genuinely earn all the money they get. He didn't. Because he went from being a veterinarian for Pfizer, he then went into their business department, and eventually just became the CEO. He did not work his way up. He got lucky is what happened. Hate to break any Albert fans for heart here, but he does not deserve that. He got lucky. He hit the jackpot. He bought a lottery ticket and won the jackpot first try. That's what happened. It's just ridiculous to me that's happened. So let me take a look. See here. I went on a big rant about that. Oh yeah. So, how does the government benefit off this? Well, it's very simple. They tax him. They tax him. They tax the company. They tax everyone else. So if they can get someone who makes $24 million a year, tax him for however much that is. I don't know where he lives, so it goes up by state. I don't know exactly. It also depends on what he could consider as a write-off for his business, stuff like that. But still, they can tax him so heavily that they genuine like both sides benefit. He gets a ton of money, and so does the government. So the government's not going to step in and do anything because they're getting money off of it. And that's what the government's never cared about, is having money. I hate to break people's heart here, but the government does not care about you. It never has, it never will care about you. It cares about how much power and money it can sustain and hold for as long as it can. That's all it's ever cared about. And if you want to debate with me that the government, or if you think, I don't know, Biden or Trump for that matter, I don't give a fuck talking about here, genuinely cared about the US citizens, I will openly debate and show you that they never did. They did that job because, guess what? It's not as much, it's really not that. How do I put this in? How do I put this in a way that doesn't get everyone pissed at me? It's a job. It's not. That's what it is. It is a job. They did it for the money. And you can debate. Well, doctors do jobs, and they're not in it for the money. They are. If you do a job, you are in that job for the money. That is what a job is. Because if anyone's ever heard this statement, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's probably pretty well known. A job is not a job if you enjoy it. It is classified as something else, and I forgot what the saying said it was. But if you're doing a job just because you need money or you want money, then it is a job. You don't want to do it. And you're going to try every single way you know to get out of it. And or get as much or get as little done and get as much money as possible, because that's what you're there for. Money. So how does me, a 17-year-old, think that we can fix this? Well, we got two options. You're not gonna like either. But because I'm gonna hit both sides of the political spectrum here, that's gonna piss people off. And it's funny. So we have the more violent and quick side. You do what we did during the BLM and George Floyd riots. While yes, they were incredibly violent and people got hurt, we got changed pretty quickly. Well, I mean, besides the George Floyd riots, I mean, you can technically say we didn't get any justice done until like a year later, because the police officer took forever to get through trial. But once again, like, that's just every kind of case. They get it on like they do it as a first come first serve basis, really. But still, like, we got justice pretty quickly. Like, they were heard very loudly and very quickly, and things are starting to change because of it. Now, you could debate whether they're good changes or not. I'm not going to debate with you on that because I don't have an opinion on it. Because the only opinion I have is like, yeah, police brutality is bad and it should be changed. And the court system sucks. That needs to be changed. So does the prison system. That sucks. That's gotta change. But when it comes to police, such as ACAB and stuff like that, I'm not gonna get into it because it's just such a convoluted conversation that it's so patronized. Is that the right word I'm looking for? Let me take a look here. Patronized. Treat in a way apparently kind of helpful, but that betrays. Oh, I did not use the right word. Not patronized. Politicized. Politicized is the word. Politicized. Yeah, politicized. So that's what I made. For me, political and character. Yeah, it's heavily politicized. You also got, since we are talking about money, of course, the George Floyd riots and stuff like that were about race and the police system and not about money. So how about we take a look for about one in history that got a pretty good point across that happened in the state of Virginia. Now, I understand that not everyone here, everyone listening or watching is from the state of Virginia, but I personally am. So I can give very good insight to what happened. During the Civil War, Confederacy was always low on money because they kept printing money. Inflation rose to, I think at one point it was up to 1,000%, something like that, and it was awful. And so, since all the men were drafted into the or it was just up to the women, and the women couldn't pay money to get things. So what we had to do is we go into the riot here. The George Washington the equestrian statue of George Washington. They made their way to the Virginia governor's mansion, and of course, there's accounts what happened vary, but the most overall, the biggest overall things is that basically they just gathered outside of the Virginia governor's house and they just started to riot, break stuff. They went down after they were dissatisfied with his response. They marched down Capitol, 9th Street, which is a Richmond 9th Street. 9th Street. Richmond. Yeah, I want to see where 9th Street is. 9th Street is, yeah, the street that leads down, where is it? Where is Capitol building? So I know it's like right along, yeah, Virginia State Capitol. So it's not that far. It's like the street, like it's right off East Broadway or East Broad Street. Anywho, so they marched down that. They started breaking things, stealing bread, anything they could really get their hands on just to feed them and the kids that they had. So what happened afterwards? Well, the city council met that afternoon, the day after. Actually, no, it's probably that day. I don't really remember what time it started. Didn't really say. But like I said, they arrested and basically just was like, you were part of the riot? Well, you're no longer a citizen of the Confederacy. And eventually, it was not an isolated affair. You got people in Atlanta, Augusta, Columbus, Macon, and Georgia, North Carolina, more Alabama, Mobile, and it made this big outrage for food to where they had to start actually giving out rations so that people could eat food. Because as the West Front General, West Front General Civil War, what was his name? Sherman? No. Dear, no. Civil War Union Generals. This is me, Winfield Scott, McClellan, Henrik. No, there's more than that. I know there's more than that. Winfield Scott, stupid McClellan, Henry Halleck. What is his name? I'm pretty sure it was something like Sherman. Yeah, William T. Sherman. I just saw him. Where is he? Going off first name or? I already passed him. I just saw it. William T. Sherman. Okay, I can't find his quote, but it was like collapse the citizens and the army will follow. Basically, is if you take out them, if you get people to riot and blah 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 blah, burn down their resources so they can't get food, they will stop supporting the military. Therefore, the military loses power. That's what we need to do, basically, for the violent side of things, to take down the government's biggest form of section, and that's the military. How do you do that? You just stop paying money. to stop paying taxes. What are they gonna do? Come after you? Yeah. And once you're dead, you can't get taxes. Take all the monies out of the bank. Take all your money out of the bank. Blah blah blah. All that violent stuff that you can think of. Now, if you want a very slow and very slow and peaceful way, well, it's very simple. What did I put here? Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, it's very simple. Just get more conservative politicians. The less money they spend on, the less money they spend, the less taxes you pay, the less money that both the government gets and those companies get. Well, the CEOs get more money, so they'll keep jacking up prices. But what will eventually happen is once we've had a couple conservative presidents, or just overall like Congress, or House seats, stuff like that, the more conservative you get, once that becomes more liberal and more forgiving, they're going to jack up the restrictions and jack up the taxes. And so those companies will soon start to fall, and you just repeat that process so that the companies eventually have to lower prices so they don't have to pay as much taxes. Now, of course, this is coming from a 17-year-old who knows nothing, but this is also coming from someone who suffers from it. Or I don't suffer from it, parents do. But still, I will take this debt on once I get older because I have an illness that cannot be cured. Or it can be cured and I just don't have access to it because they refuse to release it. And it is a genuine issue for me because I will pay this debt until I die. It's a very surreal moment to think about, but I will be paying my debt until I am a dead person. And even then, they will become knocking on my come to my funeral and be like, alright, so who's the beneficiary? Because we'll be taking some of that money to pay off this debt. Put money on it. They've done that before, and they did not feel any bit bad about it. So this was more of a, we need to fix this situation before it gets too worse for anyone to be able to pay off debt or even get access to medical care due to prices. So this was more of a awareness check and a reality check, a slap in the face to hopefully just get some people that have more power and influence than I have to start hopefully changing the way these medical companies, these pharmaceutical companies work. But for now, I think I'll let you guys go. Have a good night. Please be safe. Take care. And I will see you probably next Wednesday. Yeah, probably next Wednesday or Thursday. Have a good night.